Ecclesiasticus 27:26. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. Kol halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The 144,000 who are to be the judges over Israel and the whole world under the authority of Yahweh Shai, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be among the heathen, that look like those heathen. We are a scattered people. This is not a black thing only. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth and attacking that racist, hateful narrative of black people, a black man, a black woman. All right, so I was watching this video that the elder apostle Ramlab sent to me earlier, and I couldn't get 4 or 5 minutes into it without being extremely and totally pissed. Another thing too, reading the comments, man, the millennials and the Generation Z, they really dumbed them down. They didn't, man, most of them can't even write in cursive, man. They really, and most of America's important documents are signed or written in cursive. All right, there's a lot of documents that things are signed and written in cursive. That's very important. And oh man, and so they're talking about DuSable here. It was a black man who founded Chicago. So, and it's crazy that Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the whole union of the United Snakes of America, and it was founded by black people. And yet they're treated the shittiest in this city. And there would be no city without them. There'd be no entertainment. Some of the greatest entertainment and music styles came out of Chicago. Chicago is known for its food and its entertainment. And all that's, inspired by these so-called black people who are swarthy in complexion. And so you have to understand how hateful and racist the word black is. That they purposely used, the word black. In that scene, American Gods, when Orlando Jones, that scene on the ship with the slaves, when he told them, "Oh, y'all black now. Oh, you didn't know you was black." He said, "Well, and that's the nice name they decided to call you." And when these Dutch motherfuckers decide to call themselves white, so Esau's constantly in that spirit of Psalm 64:8, because they put that label white upon themselves. They're red. They're the people that are spoken of in the Bible, the Edomites. And the first came out red all over. Just Google, well, they might be changing it, but you Google newborn babies, white newborns, or red newborns, and watch what people show up. All right? That's talking about so-called white people. All right, this is Psalm 64 and 8. And it reads, So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away. All right, matter of fact, let me read verse 7. It said, but God shall shoot at them with an arrow, and suddenly they shall be wounded. Well, that arrow being, the fiery arrows that fly from one end of the earth to the other. But it can also just simply be this truth. The truth cuts like a sharpening into any two-edged sword, man. All right? But they constantly telling themselves. So I'm going to play about maybe, 3 or 4 minutes of this video. And then I'm going to go into the meaning of words, starting with that word black and how they replace swarthy and tawny. And then speak on about the letter that Ben Franklin wrote about the Palatine Boers, all right, which was referring to the Sephardim Jews, the Sephardic Jews who were indeed so-called Negroes, all right. And in the 1830s, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Ashkenazi Jews came over and took over everything that the Sephardic Jews, the Negroes, had set up here in the Americas and the colonies. And then any of those Sephardic Jews, those Negroes, those real Israelites, who were actually not the greatest people because they were helped setting up the oppressors and oppressing their own people, but they got mixed in with the rest of the population that they were oppressing. Some of them even got taken and sold into slavery. You remember the movie of 12 Years a Slave? That's what happened to him. All right, that guy north of, he came from the line of one of these Moriscos, one of these Moriscos, you know, the people that were kicked out of Portugal and Spain. All right, and we're gonna provide the evidence of everything that I just said. So without any further ado, this fabricated yet racist history that even when they're trying to tell you about yourself, they're still being hateful. Because remember, to refer to someone as a black people, that's a very hateful thing to do. As a matter of fact, before we even play the video, let's look up the definition of black on the online Etymology online dictionary, which means etymology meaning the truth and meaning in words. All right, and let's go to here to the black, to this one right here. Okay, get my pointer. This one, we're starting there. All right, and it says black, used for dark-skinned people in Old English. So why did they? And it wasn't. Swarthy was. All right. It says of coffee with nothing added, and coffee is actually brown, not black. Attested by 1796, the meaning fierce, terrible, wicked, from the 14th century. Figurative senses often come from the notion without light, moral or spiritual. You see, that's saying that you are wicked people. Latin, nigger, is, you know, it's not Niger, it's nigger. Niger, I've proven that. I got the dictionary behind me. I've proved it 1,000 times. We're not going to do it again. All right, it says, had many of the same, because nigger just simply meant dark, swarthy. It didn't, you know, someone who was dark complected. It didn't have the negative connotation that it has today. All right. Had many of the same figurative senses: gloomy, unlucky, bad, wicked, malicious, metaphoric use of the Greek word. All right. With a sense of dark purpose, the black art. So everything bad, malignant, everything bad, even black magic. All right. When you just go and read the definition, I highly suggest, especially if you're new, that you screenshot all this or write all this down so that you can go look at it, look it up for yourself. So now that we've described what black mean, so just look how comfortable that this Edomite is, teaching you about your history and referring to you as being black. So you could just replace in your mind the word, well, let's just pick one: unlucky, wicked, or malicious. All right. So as he reads, when he says black, I'm going to add in one of those words: malicious, black, or wicked. Here we go.
Black history in the United States is tossed around.
Wicked
it's often
history.
accompanied by images of slavery, Jim Crow laws, and a general struggle against adversity. Now, don't get us wrong. These chapters are crucial in understanding the roots of this nation. But there's more to the story. Hidden beneath the weighty narratives of hardship are tales of incredible resilience and innovation. Take a moment to appreciate the cities that have become icons in their own right. We've got the bustling commercial epicenter that is New York, the technological marvel of Los Angeles, and then there's Chicago, the Windy City, home to the world's first skyscraper, and an array of sports attractions that could make your head spin faster than a Chicago-style pizza twirl. But what if I told you that this city, with all its architectural wonders and cultural charm, owes its existence to the actions of a single, somewhat unsung hero, who wasn't exactly the poster child for
Son of a bastard, you pieces of shit.
Historical recognition. In this video, we're turning back the clock, setting our time-traveling DeLorean to 1780. Picture a time when black backs were breaking under the oppressive
So wicked backs, malicious backs, you know.
weight of the slave trade, working tirelessly to churn out cotton and build the American economy.
And they did. There would be no America without the Israelites, without the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, mainly Judah here in America.
Yet, amid this struggle, a remarkable black man made a discovery that would eventually.
So a remarkable, now I gotta keep referring back to it. A remarkable malicious man, a remarkable wicked man. All right.
House millions of people, shaping the destiny of a city we now know as Chicago. So buckle up, time travelers. We're about to unveil a tale that might just flip your historical perspective like a pancake at a Chicago brunch spot. Also, as a way of supporting the channel, hit the like button of the video, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.
So, as you can see on the screen, rewriting the black narrative. So how you gonna rewrite it? All you gotta do is just tell the truth. On the top of the screen, they're showing you two brown people, because the truth of the matter is swarthy people, black people, are physically brown. All right, there's no such thing as black people. They made it up. All right, just like there's no such thing as white people. They made it up. Okay, so now let's go to Swarthy. It says swarthy, dark colored tawny, especially in reference to skin. The unexplained alteration of swarthy, all right, related to swarthiness, swartness, to attest. Now, in Scotland, King James hordes were referred to as the swarthy hordes of Scotland. All right, those were your Jacobites in the 1600s that were fighting with Cromwell and the other Edomites who pushed them out. Hence the reason why they don't want to talk about medieval or dark ages. All right, here, look at the name Maurice. I had an uncle named Maurice. All right. As a matter of fact, my youngest cousin, first cousin on my mother's side, is named after his father's name. You know, he's a junior, Maurice Jr. All right, but it says surname, proper name, cases represent Maurice, common form Morris, nickname Moorish, for one who is swarthy. So when you get to names mean like people, you know, when you see white people with the name brown or black, those names really actually go back to swarthy people. All right, because they would nickname, in some cases, someone who's really dark, black boy, almost like an insult, but it was like a term of endearment to people who actually knew you. All right, if that makes any sense, because you got to remember, King James, his grandson, King Charles II, his nickname was Black Boy because he was so dark. All right, I don't know of any, but you know, you see the images of him. Mainly, they show you whitewashed images from the Renaissance. That's what Renaissance meant, rebirth. And they show you these dark, these white, so-called white images of Black Boy. But I don't know any black guy named Black Boy or call themselves Black Boy. All right. So we're talking about the Moors, the Moorish. Tawny is another adjective. Tawny is with tan colored. All right, brown, dark or dull yellowish orange. So we're talking about a light-skinned person. All right. Even when you jump down to the bottom of it, you see the word highlighted, tan. Tan hides, medieval Latin, tenere, see tan. So someone who's tawny colored, as you see, right? Surname, Anglo-French name. So the Anglo-Saxons were what? They were swarthy, they were tawny, they were not pale, they were not red, they were not white, so-called white. All right. So once again, you can write these down, screenshot them if you don't have a computer, whatever. All right. You can pause this and screenshot it and save your images so that you can use them when you're teaching. Now we're going to get to the Morenos. These were the Sephardic Jews that were pushed out of Portugal and Spain in 1492, basically when Christopher Columbus sailed. It says a Moreno, and Hispanic people still refer to Negros, dark-colored Latin Spanish people, or Negroes, they refer to them as Morenos. All right. Also, Moreno, a Jew or more in Spain who, to avoid persecution, publicly professed the conversion to Christianity while privately continuing to practice the beliefs of their old religion, basically following the law, statutes, and commandments, not Judaism. All right. Judaism is a religion that was basically created. The Judaism does not match up with the Bible. Judaism is practiced mainly with the Talmud. And you can't match another Bible with the Talmud. Isaiah 36:16 makes that very clear. As a matter of fact, let's read it now that I said it. Let's read it. The prophet Isaiah in the Tanakh, one of the main prophets, 34:16. And it reads, "Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh," not Hashem, "seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. None of these shall fail," none of the prophecies. "None shall want her mate." So, Judaism mates the Talmud with the Bible and actually puts the Talmud above the Bible. All right, there's no book to mate with the Bible. So that's yet another way to show that they're frauds. "For my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them." So yeah, you can't match another book with the Holy Scriptures. All right. And it says in the 1560s, probably literally an expression of contempt from Arabic. And no, it was actually from Edomites. Maybe some, and I seriously doubt if Arabs use it. That's just them trying to blame them. But but who knows? But definitely it's an Edomite term. Because the eating of pork was forbidden by Muslim. But you know what? So yeah, that's how I know that it wasn't Arabic, because they're saying that it was forbidden by Arabic, Muharram, and is also forbidden by the Israelites. So yeah, that's definitely an Edomite slang or slander. All right. And this word was used. One of the words that they used for that was a boar, or a Palatine boar. That was the language that was written in Ben Franklin's letter when he talked about the Swarthy people of Sweden, Germany, France, Portugal, Spain. The places in Europe that's supposed to have been white. But he was talking about these Palatine boars. So let's read what Palatine means. It said possessing quasi-royal privileges. So he was calling them fake royals. All right. In the mid-15th century, ruled by a lord resembling those of an independent sovereign, you see what he's saying? From old Palatine and directly from medieval Latin Palatinus, or palace of Caesar, from the Latin. And we tell you that when Rome fell, the Negroes took over basically all of Europe at that point, because Negroes were all up in Rome, all up in Europe, and all throughout the Roman Empire. They were majority of their military, a big portion of their military, and their civilian population, just as they are in the West today, here in this portion of the West called the Americas. All right. But and they try to cover up and hide that history, and there's too many relics and artifacts to prove it. All right. Yeah, and then this letting you know these same Palatine boars that he called them were in the old German Empire, 1570s by the 1700s. So when you look up the letter that was written by Ben Franklin, he complained about that. I'm gonna have to get that letter back in this phone. I got a new phone, because I often would read the letter just to line these words up in the language. All right. So we already looked up Moreno. Now let's go to boars. He called them Palatine boars. A boar, unconsecrated male swine from prototype Germanic Beres. See? And they were talking about the Negroes in Germany not being allowed to come into America. All right. And that was in 1751 is when that letter was written by by Ben Franklin. All right. And those people, and once again, going back to these Moors, they were the Moriscos, all right, pertaining to here's also all these are etymology online definition. Morisco adjective, pertaining to Moors, Moorish design, Spanish Moriscos. See Morisco, all right. Moorish design, Moorish work, Italian Moresco. See, they were all, so these black people, all right, we're going to have to find that letter. Or maybe I'll just do a part 2. So I really wasn't planning on, let's go, let's open up another tab. Ben Franklin. Oops. Observations of increase of mankind. There it is. So here, just to prove what I was saying, here's the letter. We're going through it. I'm going to go down to paragraph 24. All right. And it was the elder Taz who brought this out the first time I ever heard it, and I was just wooed. But here, just to prove everything I said, let's start at 24. It says, which leads me to add the remark that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. All of Africa is black or tawny, so swarthy. All right. Asia chiefly tawny, so these are brown, tan people. America exclusively, America exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. So the newcomers were who? The so-called white people. So America was full of swarthy, tawny people. All right. And there's a big argument all over the internet, these people trying to say that they were black, they were Africans and all that. No, they were not. They're the same as the Negroes who were brought over here in slavery. Same people, different tribes. All right. And it says, and in Europe, see, swarthy in Europe, black people throughout Europe. And let's see where. The Spaniards, the Italians, the French, the Russians, the Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion. Hence the reason why they removed the word black. Why they removed the word swarthy and put black, because swarthy was talking about dark-skinned people and their complexion. Too plain, too simple, too right to the point. But black, I can shake your hand and smile at you and keep calling you black. And I'm calling you ugly, dirty, nasty, ugly, wicked, evil, untrustworthy, unholy, all those things. You see? You understand? It says, as are the Germans also, the Saxons only accepted. So basically trying to say everybody in Europe was basically so-called black except the Saxons. And that's a lie. The Saxons were not so-called white people. As he's trying to, allude to. All right? So you can, freeze it and read the rest of it, and screenshot it and keep it for your record so that you can prove a Edomite wrong, a historian or anyone wrong. There's too much evidence now. Esau's fallen upon his sword, left and right, telling on themselves. So let me grab one of my favorite scriptures and close this out. Because I couldn't even get through that. I hate that. I despise and hate that word black because I know what it stands for. And it's a demon because people can't get around it and understand that the Israelites were swarthy people and that's who they are. The Israelites were cursed to go into slavery and serve slavery as punishment in the latter days until they be set free from it. 2 Ezra 6:27, for evil shall be put out and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakaha Kodash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.